They don't say a word, no warning, no expression, just silence. But don't let the lack of noise fool you. Don't be deceived by the quiet, chosen one. You are being watched, not casually, not occasionally, but intentionally and silently. They're taking mental notes, spiritual inventory, emotional snapshots of your every move, and yet they won't say a thing. Why? Because they're trying to understand how you're still standing. You see, people expected you to break. They expected you to fold under pressure, disappear in the shadows, lose yourself in the storm. But instead, you stood taller, you moved. Wiser, you spoke less and aligned more. And that's unsettling to those who were never rooting for you to win. Now they watch you with a mixture of confusion, curiosity, and conviction, but always in silence. They smile when they see you, but they're studying your glow. They nod, but internally they're questioning, how? How are you still breathing after what you went through? How are you still hopeful when life threw you every reason to quit? How are you walking with peace when your past should have made you bitter? These questions echo inside them, but you'll never hear them speak it, because their silence isn't ignorance, it's tension. Chosen one. There's a spiritual principle at work. The more you align with divine timing, the less the world understands your pace. The more you grow in the spirit, the less noise you make in the natural, and yet your presence becomes louder. People feel you before you speak. You enter rooms and shift atmospheres without trying. You don't brag, you just exist. You don't beg for validation, you carry revelation. And that's why the watchers stay silent. They can't figure out how someone who's been through so much can still radiate joy. They don't understand the grace you carry. They don't realize that every scar has been sealed with divine oil. And because they can't explain it, they observe, quietly, frequently, from behind the curtain of their own uncertainty. There are people who haven't spoken to you in years, but they know everything you post. They track your movement without ever liking or commenting. They hear your name and pause longer than they should, because even in the silence, your growth speaks volumes. Your life is testifying. Your spirit is announcing your transformation, and that's louder than any words could ever be. But this is not about paranoia. This is about positioning. God has placed you in this season of observation not to scare you, but to show you. You're a living epistle, a walking signpost, a vessel carrying truth in a world drowning in confusion. That's why people watch in silence. They don't have the language for what you're becoming, and deep down, they hope being near you will give them access to the peace you found. There's also a deeper level to this, in the spirit realm. Silent watchers are not always human. There are angelic forces assigned to your life. Heaven has dispatched observation. You're being monitored, not to be judged, but to be protected. Every step you take, every decision you make, is under divine surveillance. Not to punish, but to preserve. You're not alone, even when it feels like it. On the flip side, the enemy is also watching. The silence isn't always benign. The adversary studies patterns, triggers, weaknesses, trying to find a crack in your armor. But what he doesn't realize is that your silence has become your strength. You've stopped explaining yourself to people who were never listening. You've stopped proving your worth to rooms you were never meant to sit in. You've learned the art of stillness, and it's driving darkness crazy. Don't be surprised if certain people act like nothing has changed, even though everything has. Some will pretend not to notice your shift, your glow, your healing, your elevation, because acknowledging it would require them to confront their own stagnancy. It's easier for them to stay silent than to admit you've grown beyond what they expected. And then there are the quiet admirers, the ones who secretly cheer for you, even if they don't know how to say it. They watch you because your journey gives them hope. You're the proof they needed that transformation is possible, that faith still works, that God is still in the business of rewriting stories. They might never tell you, but they watch because you inspire them. So what do you do, chosen one, when you're being watched in complete silence? You stay focused. You stay grounded. You don't adjust your vision to fit into their gaze. You don't dim your light to make others comfortable. You don't shrink to appease their confusion. You rise, you move forward. You walk with the confidence of one who knows they are backed by heaven. Let your fruits speak for you. Let your peace disturb what needs to be disturbed. Let your consistency prove every lie wrong. Let your elevation be your only response, because the silent watchers will eventually have no choice but to witness what God is doing in your life. Out loud, your silence is not weakness. Your stillness is not surrender. Your discretion is not defeat. You've learned how to move in wisdom, how to discern without reacting, how to listen more than you speak. And that level of maturity has become your weapon. They're watching, chosen one, but they have no idea what's really happening inside you. The real transformation, the real awakening, is spiritual. And by the time they finally understand, it'll be too late to box you in. You'll already be soaring, unapologetically, unstoppably, in complete silence. But with divine power, you might not hear applause, you might not see the support, but don't confuse the silence for absence. Many are present, many are paying attention. They just don't want you to know, because the moment they admit they see you, they'd have to admit they see what God is doing through you. And that would disrupt the narrative they built when they thought you were nothing. Chosen one, you were underestimated on purpose. God allowed certain people to count you out because He wanted your comeback to be undeniable. He hid you in plain sight so that when you rose, it couldn't be credited to connections, clout, or control, only to His hand. That's why the silent watchers are so uncomfortable. You broke every assumption. You rose without noise. You evolved without permission. And now they can't unsee you. They scroll through your life like it's a story they wish they were part of. They observe from a distance, hoping to catch a flaw, a slip-up, something to confirm their doubts about you. But all they find is consistency, growth, an unshakable grace that defies natural explanation. Because you're not where you are by chance. You were chosen, and that choosing came with an invisible covering. You feel it sometimes, that presence when no one's around, that weight in the spirit. It's because you're being watched, in more ways than one. The divine realm is taking note of how you carry the weight of your calling, how you handle tests in silence, how you love people who never apologized, how you keep showing up when no one claps for you. And for that, the reward will be public, even though your preparation was private. They watched you in your wilderness, but they stayed silent. They saw you being broken, but they offered no comfort. Now they're watching your table being prepared, and still they say nothing. That's because silence isn't just observation. Sometimes it's divine strategy. God will mute the mouths of those who once disrespected your journey so they can't interfere with your rise. He'll allow them to see but not speak, to witness but not touch, and still you've got to guard your peace. Not every watcher is for you. Some are silently studying you to replicate, not to celebrate. They want your formula, not your faith. They want your glow, but not your grind. They see your light, but they don't know your nights. That's why discernment is your armor. Everyone observing isn't admiring. Some are plotting. But don't worry, their silence won't protect them from the consequences of messing with God's anointed. Your job isn't to convince anyone to like you. It's not to try and make the silent watchers speak up. It's not even to prove yourself. Your only responsibility is to remain aligned. Let your obedience speak louder than their silence. Let your fruit be your evidence. Let your joy be your resistance. Because when you carry purpose, presence becomes your announcement. You walk into rooms and things shift. You post a message and spirits get stirred. You breathe and atmospheres are affected. All without a word. That's why you can't afford to shrink. Can't afford to doubt yourself. Can't afford to entertain the voices of those who had the chance to support you, but chose silence instead. Their silence was strategic, but so is your rise. Every setback, every betrayal, every closed door, it all pushed you into alignment. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, and they're watching because even they feel it. Something big is happening with you. They might not tell you this, but your glow is convicting them. Your peace challenges their chaos. Your elevation reminds them of what they could have been doing. And so they stay silent, not out of hate, but out of discomfort. Your presence is a mirror, and they're not ready to see what's been hiding within them. But don't take it personally. Your journey isn't about them anyway. It's about the assignment that's on your life, and that assignment is bigger than applause. Some of the ones watching in silence are future allies. People who will later come forward, saying, "I saw you, I just didn't know how to approach you." Some are future students of your testimony. They'll want to know how you made it, what kept you grounded, how you found God in the silence. They're watching now because they'll need your story later. And here's the truth. God is using you to wake people up. He's using your life to stir souls. You don't have to preach to thousands to be impactful. Sometimes, just existing in alignment is enough to set others free. You don't even know how many chains are breaking just because you refused to stay broken. How many minds are shifting just because you stayed in purpose. That's why they're watching. Your life is a message. Even your enemies can't help but tune in. The very ones who tried to bring you down are now silent spectators of your elevation. They won't congratulate you, but they won't be able to ignore you either. Because when God lifts you, no silence can block the sound of glory moving in your life. You become undeniable, even to those who denied you. So, chosen one, this silent season is sacred. It's training ground. It's spiritual proof that you don't need attention to be anointed. You don't need noise to be noticed by heaven. You don't need validation to know who you are. Keep walking like God is watching, because He is. And keep moving like every step matters, because it does. Don't get distracted. Don't get discouraged. You've come too far. This silent observation is a prelude to your unveiling. God is about to speak through your life, loudly in front of those who try to ignore you. And when He does, their silence won't matter anymore. Because the evidence of His favor will be so loud, it'll drown out every unspoken word. There, watching in complete silence. But soon the silence will break, and when it does, the sound will be your victory. And now, chosen one, here you are, still rising, still glowing, still standing in purpose, while the silent ones continue their observation. But this is no longer about being seen. This is about what they're seeing. What they are witnessing is not ordinary elevation. It's divine evidence. It's spiritual authority in motion. It's the result of quiet obedience when no one was clapping. And that's what they can't look away from. They saw the version of you that was overlooked. They watched you struggle and assumed it would break you. But now they're watching again, not because they support you, but because they don't understand how you're still rising. That's the mystery they're trying to solve in silence. How did you survive what was designed to destroy you? What they don't realize is that you weren't moving in your own strength. The favor they see now was born in moments they didn't witness. Moments on your knees. Moments you cried out when no one else knew you were hurting. Moments you chose forgiveness instead of revenge. This glow is not cosmetic, it's consecrated. You've been refined in fire and still carry peace. That's why they're silent. They can't comprehend it. Some of them prayed you wouldn't make it. Some secretly hoped you'd fall so they could say, "I knew it." But even their silence couldn't stop God's plan. He didn't need their agreement to bless you. He just needed your surrender. And now that the harvest is forming, the same ones who dismissed you are being forced to pay attention quietly. That's divine justice. Not vengeance, but vindication. And while they stay in observation, you stay in preparation, because there's more. This season of silent watchers is not the finale. It's the transition. You're being repositioned for greater visibility, not for pride, but for purpose. Your name is being mentioned in rooms you've never entered. Opportunities are forming behind doors you've never knocked on. This is the reward of walking in integrity while under spiritual surveillance. They're watching how you react to pressure, how you treat those beneath you, how you carry blessings without arrogance. And guess what? Heaven is watching too. The silent watchers on earth might never applaud you, but the cloud of witnesses in the spirit are cheering every obedient step you take. Don't downplay your discipline just because it doesn't look flashy. God honors it, and soon it'll be undeniable. This next phase will be uncomfortable for some, because your elevation will become so evident, it will force people to confront their own disobedience. Not because you flaunted it, but because your consistency exposed their inconsistency. Your devotion revealed their detours. Your light made their excuses impossible to defend. That's why they're silent. Not because you're not powerful, but because you are. You're a walking contradiction to the world's standards. You were never supposed to make it this far. You didn't have the backing, the support, the blueprint. But what you had was enough, because what you had was God. And now, even those who didn't believe in you are silently acknowledging that something supernatural is happening in your life. And no, they still won't say it out loud, but they feel it. They know it. And that silent recognition is louder than words. So what now? Keep going. Keep showing up like heaven is watching, because it is. Keep moving in silence when necessary. Every post, every project, every word you speak in alignment is sending ripples through the spiritual realm. People you've never met are being shifted by your obedience. Your very existence is proof that purpose cannot be silenced. You don't have to announce what God is doing. The fruit will speak for itself. In due time, the very ones who watched in silence will witness your next elevation. And this time, even their silence won't be able to hide their shock. Some will try to attach themselves. Some will pretend they always believed in you. Others will stay quiet, hoping you forget how they ignored you. But your heart will stay clean. Because this isn't about proving anything, it's about glorifying God. You're being observed, not just by people, but by systems, by atmospheres, by spirits. There's a reason it feels like you're being monitored even when you're alone. It's because your life is a signal. Your frequency disturbs what's dormant. You carry too much light for darkness to ignore. That's why the watchers won't stop. But neither will your covering. They'll keep watching. But eventually, they'll have no choice but to speak, to ask, to seek. Because when the fruit becomes too heavy, it drops, and those who hung around long enough in silence will want to taste what they didn't help cultivate. You'll have to decide, in that moment, who gets access, who gets to hear the testimony behind the triumph, who gets to walk with you into this next chapter. And yet, even then, your heart must remain soft, because some of those silent watchers are broken themselves. They didn't know how to celebrate you because they never learned how to celebrate themselves. Some were intimidated, some were inspired, others were convicted, but all were watching because God made you visible, even when you felt invisible. That's your calling, chosen one, to be seen without striving, to be elevated without performing, to be a living message without preaching a word. This is why you couldn't blend in, why you always felt different, while your presence shifts the room even when you're quiet. You were called to be a sign, a symbol of what happens when someone walks with God, even when no one else is watching. But they are watching now, in silence, with wide eyes and heavy hearts, some with admiration, others with regret, but all with attention. Because something in you can't be ignored anymore. You're not just being observed, you're being studied. You're a blueprint for resilience, a map for those trying to find their way back to purpose. Every step you take forward is a reminder to someone that it's not too late to answer the call. So walk boldly, move wisely, shine quietly. Let the silent watchers do what they do best. Watch. Because you were never built to please them. You were chosen to please the one who never took his eyes off you, and his voice is louder than all their silence combined.